Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Critical Mass. Welcome back to Isolation Week 3, where we're all going just a little bit crazy and we're trying to discuss entertainment, of which there is no entertainment right now in the theaters, only what we can do for ourselves. So we thought, you know what? There were some pretty good movies in 2017, 2018, 2019. Why aren't they making sequels to these movies? So I'm going to bring out 10 movies, and these guys are going to let us know, should they be made into sequels, part twos, or should we let well enough alone? Because if I was to say to Mark, hey, Mark, should they make A Quiet Place 2? We'll be right back after this. Our first movie up on our list.
Don't do that.
Paul is all like surprised. He's excited. He's excited. The first movie is Captain Marvel. Should Captain Marvel have a sequel? It made $1 billion, but didn't get the best reviews.
I'm going to say yes, because I think Disney has a contract with Brie Larson that they have to put her in so many movies. And if they keep putting her in Captain Marvel's, then she won't be ruining other movies that I don't want her in.
That's one way to do it. Paul, Mark, what do you think?
I think Captain Marvel deserves a sequel. It did well enough at the box office, and if the sequel fails, then they can end it.
I would say yes. Captain Marvel should get a sequel. It made $1 billion, but they also need to make a movie where they can actually show some personality of the character. Because if they don't do that, every time you put Captain Marvel in a movie, whether it be Avengers in the future or anything, it's not going to turn out well. So they need to lighten her personality and make everyone like the character again.
I will say this, it's very odd that you would have to do the character development in the sequel.
Exactly. And that's the problem. That was the big problem with Captain Marvel, was the non-personality of the character. Other people in the movie had character. Should I do my update? No. See, other characters in the movie had development and character arcs and everything, and Captain Marvel just didn't seem to have one. So, okay, I think we're still on the same page. Yes, there should be a sequel. How about this one? This one actually is a sequel. Also made $1 billion. Frozen 2. Should there be a Frozen 3?
If they were, I think, yes, they should continue the franchise because the franchise itself does well. But I think they should take the story in a completely different direction instead of the way they did part 2. They should return to the roots of part 1 and continue on with something that has to do with that storyline. Find different magical powers in other people.
Mark must have watched my review of Frozen 2. Because that's exactly what I said.
What? I did see that review, and I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I kind of felt that way. Such a missed opportunity, I thought. What do you think, Paul?
No. I say put a lid on it. It's done. We had 2 good movies, and we don't want to run the series into the ground so that the first 2 aren't worth anything anymore.
Yeah, because we all know that bringing a movie 12 years apart really oversaturates the marketplace.
They couldn't improve upon the first one. Even though it was a good movie, they couldn't improve upon the first one, and so do I want it to keep on going downhill? No. Just find a different story to tell.
Yeah. See, if they would have gone with the whole different nature princesses and we discover a new princess in, say, 4 movies, instead of, let's go on another adventure and the sisters don't go together and then there's this wedding plot.
I agree. They could have turned this into a 5-movie series where you have each of the 4 elements, and then a movie at the end of the introduction of all 4, where they're all together to overcome something that they need everybody.
Or even 3. if they, make it a trilogy. But I think they missed the boat. So I would say don't do it. They will do it. It made $1 billion. They will be making a Frozen 3. You can pretty much guarantee that. How about this one? They thought this was going to be a franchise for Will Smith. Mr. Gemini Man. Should they make a sequel?
No.
I can tell by Paul's reaction. He thinks no.
Yeah.
So we'll start with you, Paul. What do you think?
No, like that was a fail movie. I guess they can improve upon the software to make them. What? How does this movie lend itself to a sequel anyway? It's just the movie was told.
Except they're both still alive. They're both superhero guys, like sharpshooters, and.
But the whole point to watching this was to see him interact with his younger self.
But
now why do you want to watch it?
Well, maybe the father gets kidnapped in the next one, and the son has to rescue him, and there's plenty of story plots they could do.
All they have to do is introduce Jaden Smith.
I agree. Oh my God. I agree. They shouldn't make a sequel to.
Yeah, don't touch it.
In fact, they probably shouldn't have made the first movie. At least with the technology they used. Next, we have one of Mark's favorite movies of the year, Charlie's Angels. Should they do another Charlie's Angels with the same cast?
No.
Not a reboot.
No.
All right, Mark, we'll start off with you. What do you think?
No. The story, I understand that Charlie's Angels is, a different spy scenario every time. I think they really failed telling the first story, and I don't think that a sequel would do it justice. I think if they announced a sequel coming out, you'd have maybe a tenth of the amount of people that saw the first one would go, because it wasn't a good movie.
All right. Paul, what do you think?
I think they should never, ever make a Charlie's Angels movie ever again with any cast.
Tell us how you really feel.
Like, you want to watch a lady spy movie? Watch Salt. Salt was good with Angelina Jolie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So,
see, I'm okay with Charlie's Angels. I grew up with Charlie's Angels on TV. I know the whole Townsend agency and all that stuff. I'm not opposed to that. I think the way they went in the direction of this movie was bad. And the writing was really bad. And I hate to say it, but the directing was horrible. I think if they were to do a second one and got rid of Elizabeth Banks and got some new writers who just wanted to tell a story and not tell a message, then they would have a chance at a grittier movie.
They took a feminism-based movie and put it on steroids.
The trouble is, Charlie's Angels is not a feminist movie or a television, like a series.
Sure it is.
Go watch Charlie's Angels. It's definitely not a feminist TV show. It is about as sexist as you can possibly get. Go back and watch it. The trouble is, you can still have fun with this kind of stuff. You can make them as competent that you want. You can do real spy stuff. But they just went over the top. Every male in the story is bad. Every female is a hero, etc., etc. We have to replace Charlie with a female. We have to replace Bosley with a female. We have to do, and that just lost. It became about a message. It didn't become about a movie. Give me a movie with a good plot and these actresses who did a half-decent job for what they were given. I think the movie could be good. I mean, the actresses can act, and I don't mind their roles. I just think that Elizabeth Banks took it in a direction that nobody wanted to see. And so if they dropped her out, maybe then they might redeem themselves.
I would not be interested in watching a part 2.
Okay. Well, our fifth movie on the list, I think you guys will probably jump all over as a yes, Alita Battle.
Yes, absolutely. Do a part 2, a part 3.
Well, there is a whole series on it, of course.
Do them all.
But it did not get like rave reviews from critics. It got rave reviews from the audience.
You can't go by critic reviews anymore. That doesn't work. You can't go by Rotten Tomatoes. You can't follow that anymore because it's all fake.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Well, while there were most of the movie I really enjoyed. I would watch that movie in a second. I've watched it numerous times since we saw it in theater. So hands down, why is this not already in production for a part 2?
And maybe it is.
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's not yet.
This would be a fantastic time for them to pull out all of these computer animated movies because of social distancing. It would be a great time to start putting all of these together when it's all computer animated, when it's all even the cartoons and whatnot. This would be the time to do that.
Well, they still have actors with the motion recognition software.
Yeah.
But you can do that. But you can do that alone in a green screen.
Except there's 50 people in that room doing that motion screen detection and all that with the camera angles and et cetera. It's not as easy as just one person go into a green screen and do it. It's not YouTube.
I'm sure they could figure it out.
Mark will tell them how to do it when they're going to do that.
I'll show them how it's done.
All righty. Our 6th movie on the list came close to $1 billion. The first one came close to $1 billion. Jumanji. Should Jumanji 3 be made after Jumanji 2? It's still doing pretty well on streaming right now, Jumanji 2. It's one of the top 5 movies in the streaming services. So it begs the question, is it worth making a 3?
What do you think, Paul?
No, they shouldn't have made number 2.
You said number 2.
Well, number 2 was number 2.
So you did not enjoy number 2?
Well, had they done something different, it would have been great. But that number 2 hurt.
See, my thoughts was they tried to do something different and they ruined it by not having like the original cast, by bringing in the 2 old characters, and then the whole movie became old people jokes for the whole thing instead of, the adventure and, The Rock playing an older person. And it lost. The charm of the first one was people out of their element and things like that. The part of this movie was, hey, I'm old and now I can move really good, or what's happening? I don't understand what's going on with Danny DeVito's character. It just got so tiring so quickly and so boring.
But
beginning and do a new adventure someplace. Jumanji can go in space. Make it a different area, a different thing, not just the jungle again. Do something.
They already told us at the end of the second movie what the third movie is going to be about. And it's going to be like the Robin Williams edition, where things from the fake world come into our real world. And guaranteed part 3, that's what it's going to be.
Well, but you say they shouldn't make it.
No, they should be hurt for making it.
Mark, what do you think?
They will make it. They probably shouldn't. I think their plans to bring fake world stuff into the real world is just going to tarnish the original Jumanji.
I did not enjoy the second one myself as much as the first one. I really liked the first one. I bought the first one numerous times. I don't really watch the second one hardly at all. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, they shouldn't do it, but they probably will. Number 7, Ocean's 8. Did you notice how they did Ocean's 8? They set it up just like they did for Ocean's 11. You had Ocean's 11, the next one was Ocean's 12, then Ocean's 13. They set Ocean's 8, Ocean's 8, Ocean's 9, Ocean's 10. So they have the trilogy in mind when they came up with the title of the movie. So do you guys think that they should make an Ocean's 9 and introduce a new character?
They shouldn't have made an Ocean's 8.
Yeah, I agree.
Was there anything particularly wrong with Ocean's 8?
Yes, it was bad.
The whole point of making a movie should not be, let's do a movie that's been done just with all women. That's not a reason to make a movie.
And that's exactly what they did.
That is exactly what they did. And as far as the plot and the story was concerned, to me, it was average at best. They had some great actresses in the movie, but there were like plot holes after plot holes in that movie that you shook your head.
The story was terrible. The story was terrible.
Well, the best part is they tried to make a movie that saying that women can do spy stuff too and thief stuff too, and so we're going to make an Ocean's 8 and it's going to be about women, but it's going to be as good as the men. And then what do they steal? They don't try and rob Vegas. They try and steal jewelry from the Met Gala. Like, come on, think of something better than that, guys. That really was a drop ball. You know, you can steal anything nowadays. You don't have to steal a necklace from a Met Gallery all dressed up in ball gowns. It just kind of took away from the message that I think they were trying to say they were going to do. So, all right, Ocean's 8. Would I see it? Probably, but would I care if they made it or not? No, not absolutely. All righty. If only I could read. Oh. Oops. Hang on. There. Number 8, Solo. A Han Solo story.
Why would you bring that up?
Should they make a part 2?
No.
Like, the actors are good in it.
Yeah, but what story would you tell?
Well, you could tell all kinds of stories with Han Solo. He has a whole thing happening before we ever met him in Star Wars.
The first half of the Solo movie was complete and utter trash.
Yes.
And the second part was, well, it's not burning trash.
Yeah. See, if you took out the Solo of Solo and just made it a Star Wars space heist movie, it probably would have been a better movie in people's minds. However, the person did not a bad job of acting as Han Solo. No one can replace Harrison Ford, but he didn't do a terrible job. You have Game of Thrones character in there.
They didn't do a great job telling the story.
No, the story was a space heist. It wasn't a Han Solo origin story, which is what they should have been doing. But don't forget, it was rewritten. It was refilmed. 85% of the movie had been refilmed, so we don't know what it was supposed to be. Would we like to see?
But we can speculate that whatever it was supposed to be was not as good as what they had, and what they had was not great.
Huh?
We can speculate that they refilmed it because what they had wasn't good.
No, they refilmed it because Kathleen Kennedy fired the producers of the film, directors of the film, and because she didn't like how humorous it was and didn't like the direction it was going in and wanted it to go in this direction. So they had to reshoot with Ron Howard 85% of the film. So replace that film with 85% of a whole different film and a whole new director, and just maybe it might have been a fun movie. We'll never know unless we let them do a number 2.
I love that. No, I don't think they should do a sequel to Solo.
Paul?
I agree.
All right. No Solo. You guys are hard.
I think Solo should be Solo.
All right.
Well, you didn't say whether you think they should have a sequel.
I would like to see the original directors take a shot at it again because they've had nothing but success in their movies.
For a sequel?
Yeah, but I don't think they would touch any of the first story. They would write their own story. You know what I mean? They're not going to try and make an origin story anymore. They're just going to write a story for Han Solo, and I think that might work. So, kind of like something along the line of the Thor movie, Ragnarok.
Leave the original stars, original.
It's not going to happen.
Trilogy stars alone.
It's not going to happen. They've already spent billions of dollars on this. They're going to soak it for as much as they can.
They've done it.
Number 9. Here's one I can pretty much predict what you guys are going to say already. Predator. Should they make another Predator movie? Because they came out with a new Predator movie this year.
Yeah, but they've done like 10 of them. I don't even think your question qualifies. Yes, they will.
But they rebooted it again. It was an origin story again.
So I'll say no, but they're going to keep milking it.
Paul?
I didn't see the latest one, but I wasn't interested in seeing it. I saw the one in the 80s. That's all I needed.
You know what? The Arnold Schwarzenegger one is still a classic in the campiness aspect of the movie and the over-the-top action. But yeah, I saw the new one, and it was not good. So I would say no. All right. Last movie, Incredibles. Should they make an Incredibles 3?
Yes.
Incredibles 2 made $1 billion.
Yes, Incredibles 3, bring it on. I
Okay.
think they did a great job with Incredibles, the first one. I think they did a great job introducing a sequel, other than the fact that really there was only one Incredible doing anything. But they have set up the story that, Baby Jack is obviously the most powerful of any of them. And I think that they could start to capitalize on that and put a movie together with it.
What do you think, Paul?
I think the second one was a quality movie. I wasn't really happy with the social messaging in it. So if they're going to make a third with a social message in it, they can just miss me with that. I don't want that. But if it's an actual just normal movie with a story, then yeah, I would like to see it.
I'd agree with you. In fact, you know what? I think that they should do what Boss Baby did and maybe make the Incredibles episodes on Netflix. Like make half-hour little episodes and bring it there.
Well, they may do that for Disney Plus. Bring out
Disney
episodes for that.
Yeah.
Disney Plus. But you know what? I thought The Incredibles 2 was too much like the original as far as the father has to stay home and kind of like he's out of work now, and then he gets called and he goes, and this time it's her who gets called, and it was kind of predictable. The only memorable part of this whole movie for The Incredibles 2 for me was the raccoon fight with Jack. And every time I asked people, I said, hey, did you like Incredibles 2? Oh, that raccoon scene, that was so good. That was so fun. But they don't bring up anything else in the movie. They never.
Well, they did introduce a couple of other superheroes like Void and stuff that you could go and expand their parts.
But did that make the movie for you? Is what I'm saying.
Well,
like
different aspects.
I did not like 2 nearly as much as I liked 1. Nearly as much.
Of course.
Okay. So if they made a 3, to me, it's kind of turning into the Toy Story series now where, okay, here they come. I'll probably see it, but nothing is repeating the magic of the first ones.
But the difference with this one is that superhero movies are made to keep going and going and going because it's just superheroes doing another adventure, beating up another villain.
Yep.
And Frozen doesn't have that. So you would say, okay, don't keep on going maybe, or I might say that. But for the Incredibles and superheroes, I think they could.
They could, and you guys obviously think they should, unless they do social messaging for Paul.
Right. Well, and I agree with Paul there.
Yeah. Everything nowadays has to have a message for some reason instead of just writing a good story. I don't understand it, even in our cartoons, I guess. Well, there you go. There is 10 movies.
11. I think they should sequel Ready Player One.
To what?
What do you mean to what? Ready Player Two.
They took over the corporation. They shut it down on 2 days a week. They're happily ever after with their girlfriends. Everything's resolved.
Right. So nothing could ever happen on top of that. Okay, gotcha.
Well, I'm just saying, it's actually a movie that got resolved. Does it need a sequel?
I would really I love all of the references, the retro. I think they could make me very happy if they released a sequel to it.
See, I think they would make a second one and we'd be going there, oh, this is just more of the same.
Maybe.
The story is dumb, the story is this, and we'd complain about it.
Maybe. But I did enjoy the first one, and I would be interested in seeing what they could come up with for a second.
All right. Well, let's end it there. Those are 11 movies that
I
could
like
be
round numbers like that.
or may not be. Why do we do 11? Because we like to go one step further.
Yeah.
I think that's copywritten by somebody somewhere. All right. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, why not give it a thumbs up? Maybe check out some of our other content down here below. Even hit that subscribe button. Until next time, we'll see you on the channel. Stay safe, everybody.